Welcome to Season 4 of Soccer Over Gotham, an NWSL podcast covering New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC, hosted by Ruby Pinto and produced by Gary Gibson. Welcome to episode 94 of Soccer Over Gotham, season opening show. We have a great show for all of you. What do we have in this episode, Gary?
We got a whole lot, and we got the Challenge Cup is here. The regular season is close. I'm not sure if I'm ready for all this, but we're going to get through this together. We got big podcast news. Whatever could it be? We are adding to our team here at Soccer Over Gotham. I can't wait to introduce, or is it reintroduce? I don't know. Stick around. We will give our thoughts on the Gotham National Team, who has definitely entered its Nighswonger era. And then Gotham earns its second hardware in 3 games as they dominate Racing Louisville in the Women's Cup despite missing 10 players. We will also preview the game against San Diego and get prepared for that Challenge Cup. We are kicking off this season with a special player interview. We are going to go inside the chaos of the 2023 final with none other than fan favorite Nealy Martin. It's getting so real around here. I hope everybody's excited as we are. So much to talk about, Ruby. How are you?
Let me tell you, I'm super excited for that interview with Nealy. Finally got a player, so that's a win. We're starting off with the right foot, I guess. And I just want to say that I've been surviving. I feel like that has been like our theme of this year. We've been so busy. I was in Florida a few weeks ago. Not for fun, but for work. And I was a little annoyed because while I was down there, it was not warm.
Oh.
It was chilly. So I was like, bummer. I came back and then I got sick. I got the flu. I lost my voice. It was not COVID, but it still sucked. How have you been, Gary?
Better than that, I guess. I'm good. Nealy is a great interview, and you really get to understand just how passionate and driven she is. And also, we get to find out if she is more Jersey or New York now.
Oh.
Plus, we get to hear from the legend herself. What was it like going through her mind? What was going through her mind when she put on the gloves for the second time in that chaotic final minutes of the championship game? Honestly, I can't wait for you guys to hear it. But we have some big podcast news regarding this show. So this is Season 4 of Soccer Over Gotham. It is the Super Team edition. We are covering a super team. It is only fitting that we form our own super team to cover it. So we are excited to add a talented contributor to this show. Longtime listeners of this show are going to be very excited. We are adding former Nets Republic, former Local W, former Queensbury United outside back, and former guest host of this own show, Noella Franco, back to the show. Welcome back, Noella.
Woo!
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be working with you, Ruby, and with you, Gary. When Gary sent me the message, he was like, "What do you think? Would you want to be a part of this?" And I was like, "Wow, I can't say no." Because really, and I hope everyone's been giving you all your flowers because, like I told Gary, this is the most like consistent podcast and the consistent coverage that you all have been doing for so long now, reaching almost 100 episodes. I don't know if, I hope people appreciate the incredible work that you two do, just in terms of just the connection that you're giving and the coverage you're giving to these fans and for this team. So I'm just really excited to be a small part of it. I told Gary, whatever you all need, whatever I can do to help and provide good coverage of this team. I'm really, really excited.
Yeah, flattery gets you everywhere. You're hard.
Yeah. First of all, I just want to say welcome to the team. And I am very happy that you are joining us in this crazy ride and help us grow the sport and grow the podcast as well. And I just hope that our listeners like us. We do get our flowers. They tell us how much they like the show. And we are just so appreciative of all the support that we get from the listeners. And again, we're just so happy that you're joining us in this crazy ride.
Yeah, it's been, admittedly, it's been rough the past year, just with trying to balance college work, volunteering, podcasting, and building a resume, and everything else that I do. It is good to be able to take a little bit of a break from time to time. And Noelle is going to be joining us on the podcast from time to time. She's going to be writing articles from time to time. Noelle, whatever you want to do, I will help facilitate it because you're super talented. And you helped us out when we were going through it a couple seasons ago, and we're grateful for you. And so it's when I'm always checking in on my friends. So I'm always just popping in and seeing how everybody's doing. And when you responded, I was like, maybe. And so it was like, it's just an idea. And I think it's going to work out. I think it's going to be great. So again, welcome back to the program.
Thank you. Yeah. And I think also that also reminded me that, so I've been dealing with personal issues for like about like the past year and a half or so since sort of at the end tail of like when I had stopped writing for like the local W was kind of when like a lot of things were sort of happening. And for like my personal health, I had to take a lot of time off. And actually, you even just reminded me, Gary, that like you were like one of the people who were like reaching out, and you were like, "Oh, how are you doing? Like, how is everything going and stuff?" And so that was the other reason why I was like, "Yeah, I really, really want to be a part of this," because I was like, whenever I was on the show, you two always made me feel so welcome and stuff. So I am really appreciative of this opportunity and just to get to work with you all, because you all are great people. So excited.
All right.
Thank you. And hopefully you're feeling better now. And yeah, let's all do this together.
All right, let's do this together. So we have a headline. The Nighswonger era of Gotham NT is in full swing. They're competing for the Gold Cup. I just want to get your takeaways from the tournament so far. I mean, what a match last night going into penalties. They advance into the Gold Cup final on Sunday, and it's going to be Gotham National Team versus the Pride National Team. I'm kind of really excited about that. But Ruby, what's your thoughts so far in this tournament?
Well, last night's game, it was like a great water polo match, the first half, I would have to say.
Yeah.
But this tournament is a new tournament. It's the first time that we have a Women's Gold Cup going on. And I think it is very beneficial for the U.S. Women's National Team because it gave them the opportunity to try new lineups and bring in the younger players and show what they got. And this is just before the Olympics, so it was like perfect. If Nighswonger doesn't make it to the Olympics, I don't know. I think I'm gonna riot or something.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Pitchforks, torches, whatever we got, we're gonna bring it because she's been amazing. Noelle, any of your thoughts on the tournament so far?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Ruby that I think not only was it a great opportunity for the U.S. Women's National Team to really like play out their new lineups and work with their new and older players, but it also gave a lot of these other teams, these other countries that have been like slowly on the rise, or countries like, for example, Mexico that missed out on the World Cup, but had that incredible showing versus the U.S. with a 2-0 win. They're able to also see, okay, what can we do to adjust, to get better, to move forward. And I know a lot of people sort of saw the US's win over Colombia as like very cut and dry. And at least a lot of the coverage that I was reading was like that. But even just watching the game, it wasn't, I think there are a lot of teams now that aren't afraid to face the US and aren't doing a low block anymore. Like Colombia went out and were being competitive in that game. And I think for many reasons, that's why on a counterattacks, they were able to score pretty easily, I think, in some ways. But it's been exciting to see some of these countries that, ordinarily would be playing a low block or afraid of the US, like they're going out and competing and also working towards the Olympics. Colombia will be back in the Olympics this summer, so I'm sure they'll take this experience and grow from that and say, okay, what can we adjust here? And they'll hopefully, Mexico, I'm sure, is also looking towards the next World Cup classification as well. So it's been exciting overall for all these countries, for them to have more professional experience.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I'm heartbroken for Mexico. They put their hearts into this tournament, and just nothing went right for them in that first 30 minutes, and it pretty sunk their chances. But they got to show off, and this again, what these tournaments are about raising your profile, and a lot of those players in Mexico raised their profile. And I was expecting, like, as far as the U.S. is concerned, I was expecting more Gotham players getting minutes, but fine, keeps them healthy. But I think Jenna Nighswonger has been showing off, and I think she's a lock for the Olympics. I don't think you can deny her at this point. But any other thoughts, Ruby?
Yeah, what we're seeing with Jenna right now, it's the same thing we saw in her with Gotham. When she came into Gotham as a professional player, it looked like she had been playing for years for the league. Like she was so natural on the field. And this is what's happening right now with the national team. It feels like she's been playing with the national team for so much longer than just 6 games. And she already scored twice. That goal against Colombia was so beautiful, and I think that that's what gave the US that confidence in that game. Like it gave that boost of confidence to keep going and just keep fighting. So Jenna Nighswonger, and she also got player of the match for that match against Colombia. So I'm telling you, she just looks so natural out there. Like she's been doing it for years.
Jenna does something different. Like we've had defensive backs that sat back and defended. We had defensive backs that they could defend, but they also were just getting forward and putting crosses
Hmm.
in. And Jenna adds a third dimension where she can do both of that, but she
Yeah.
cuts inside, adds as another midfielder, and when they're attacking, and it just adds another layer to this. I just don't think with her skill set and what she can do, I don't think she's off this roster at all for the Olympics. Any other last thoughts for this tournament, Noah?
I think also it's been really exciting to see the younger midfielders for the U.S. Women's National Team set forward. And Kofi, of course, has been incredible for Portland for the longest, and for her to finally like be allowed to step into this midfield position with the team officially as a starting player has been really good to see. And Corbin Albert actually has been really, really fun to watch. She's obviously in France with PSG. She left younger, I think, than what most players would, like at a younger age, quote unquote. But she has just stepped onto the field as such a natural player, really facilitating, working well with whichever talented front three has been put forward. So it's been really, really exciting to watch. I know it feels sort of weird to me. I don't know if you all feel this way, like seeing Rose Lavelle come off the bench, which is like, I don't know, I can't even like fathom like saying it, but those two I think are really going to be the future of like what this midfield for this team will look like for a long time. So really, really excited for them and excited to see what they're going to do in a final that hopefully is less of a water polo match, like Ruby said.
Agree. And I think the last thing I'm going to say about the national team is it was surprisingly, even with the crazy weather and all that, I thought this was Davidson's best game. And she's starting to show the talent that she has. And you can just, again, strike a line through last season. I think that was just a bad run for her. And I think she's starting to show why she's a number one pick again. She was solid in defense despite the crazy, crazy weather. And go Listenaire, man. That was the Listenaire show
Yeah.
and the
I
and
love I love her penalty shots. Like, my God.
they're deadly.
Yeah, they are deadly. And I think it stings that I if I was the other goalie, if I was Sheridan, I think it would sting a little more that a fellow goalkeeper is like scoring on you. I don't know. But it was amazing.
It could be a very good psychological thing, definitely. But we also have other Gotham players in matches, and that is Gotham winning the Women's Cup, their second piece of hardware in 3 matches, and they went to Columbia and came back champions. Any initial thoughts on the tournament itself, Ruby?
Yeah, it was great to see Gotham back on the pitch. And it was even better to see them win another trophy. First game against Cali Deportivo, it was choppy and
Mm-hmm.
definitely looked like a preseason game. But yeah, I mean, at the end, they got that win. They didn't go to penalties. They were about to go to penalties, but we have a 13-year-old here, and she scored and she got us through the next game into the final. They had some good moments, but again, it was really choppy in that game. They were not able to score early into the game. Again, it had to go all the way to like 90th plus minute for them to get that win. Little rusty for sure, but again, they got the win, and that was the most important thing.
And I also think that not only just as an opportunity for these players to like get to know one another and everything, but later on when the season does begin and players will have to go off for international duty, it just gives everyone an opportunity to see, okay, what combinations will work well, what players can step forward and kind of really like embrace this role. And it has been crazy to see McKenna just step onto the field and just play and seem like such a like professional already at like at 13. I don't even remember
I
when I
know.
was doing it.
Gosh.
13 years old. It's been really exciting, and I give a lot of kudos just to the Gotham organization as a whole to say, you know what, your age does not matter. If you are a ready, competitive, a professional, and physically and emotionally ready to compete on the field, and we think that you'd fit well into our system, then we're going to give you the opportunity. So, as a non-rostered invitee, really happy for McKenna and happy for the team overall, the way they've been playing together.
Yeah, what a moment for the youngster. What an absolute moment. Scoring a goal in like a preseason like tournament that matters at the last minute and then like turning around and there's Esther Gonzalez. Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty darn crazy. But I think preseason is preseason, and I think they got what they wanted out of this tournament. And I think, we covered this team for a long time, and long gone are the days behind closed doors on turf against junior college teams. This was a great way to get physically ready for the season. The teams were actually absolutely going for it, and the first game was super chippy, and we got through it, and there was no new injuries. So I say, well done. I do want to highlight the roster, the lineup that came out of the second game, because I think this is a good indication of what Gotham might do if the national team players are away. Granted, we're still missing, Abby Smith and Kristen Edmonds and who else was gone for this game as well? Oh, Sinead Farrelly. So they came out in their trusted 4-3-3. Esther was in center forward. We had Stengel to the left, who I thought was excellent throughout these two games. Stevens showed really well as well on the right side. And that midfield trio, the triumvirate of Sheehan, Ryan, and Martin. And the back line was O'Hara in for Nighswonger, Lopez, Bell, I think it was excellent, Bruninia and Miller in goal. Your thoughts on just some of those players, Ruby?
I'm gonna tell you, I'm not even mad about this lineup. We have solid players, including a World Cup champion, which is Esther. She had a great tournament.
Sure.
Uh, yeah, I mean, she had an amazing final game against Racing Louisville. And another player that caught my attention was Belle. I really like her. She has a lot of potential there, and she was very involved in the defensive side. Those are like some of the key points that I liked, and the players that I like in these two games.
For me, I'm always looking at those backline players specifically, our outside backs, wing backs. So for me, of course, winning it really, really, I think last season was a major component of Gotham's success and Gotham's championship. So to see her continue to like facilitate, continue to drive the ball forward, move the ball forward, I can't even imagine like being on the other side of the pitch and seeing Kelly O'Hara also on the left side coming down, serving crosses, serving balls, facilitating, moving. I am absolutely in love with Gotham's outside backs. I think they're a big factor of the team's success and just that aggressive attacking mindset that we've had for a while now. So it's been really, really exciting and encouraging to see.
Yeah, with Bernina, she has grown so much. And when she first came to the team, she was very, like, let's say timid, but she was, very aware if she's going forward that she still has to track back. And she was aware of like her positioning. But this past season, and especially in this tournament here, she was flying up the wing. I thought she was one of the best players in the whole tournament, and she was awesome. And it seems like that any fear that she has of not being covered because she's got Bell and she's got Lopez back there, she can go go and attack full time, which is really good to see. And obviously, I'm with you, Ruby. I think Belle is impressing. She looks ready to go. She looks very similar to like like we had Nighswonger last season. She looks like she could play at this level, and she was mirroring everything that Lopez was doing. If Lopez could get into the attack, then she would drop back, and then when Lopez would drop back, she would jump into the midfield. She felt comfortable with the ball at her feet. She was winning everything in the air. She's like 5'10", and I think she set like a UNC record for high jump or something like that. Like a vertical jump. So she's an impressive athlete, and she's just good everywhere. And it's probably one of my first bold predictions, but I think that she will be fighting for a starting spot somewhere along the line this season. I'd be surprised if she would not. And obviously, the three midfielders, the engine of this team, were awesome in the second half of the second game. They're just incredible. Remember, they kept some of the best midfielders in the game on the bench last season. And again, don't be surprised, even if those national team players are back, that Martin, Sheehan, and Ryan aren't starting most of these games because they're just the heart of this team. Just saying. Any final takeaways from that tournament?
Well, Gotham has only played 2 games, and there are some players that have not played a full 90 since the last season, but they were able to get it together. And I think that and I want to stay positive here, and I just want to say that it's only up from here, and I think it's a true test for them. And I think the true test actually is going to be their next game against San Diego, because they're a top team. So we have Shield winner here, and we have NWSL championship winners. So that's going to be a great game. So we'll see how they're really you know they're gonna set pretty much the expectation with this game against San Diego. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited for this team. Again, another chance to get another trophy, which is so the preseason's over. So we turn our attention to the Challenge Cup. Morgan and company coming back to town. I mean, last time they showed up, Gotham set an attendance record. So Gotham announced that the Upper Bowl was open for sale. So for Gotham, it's their chance to win hardware again. And then they're fresh off a dominant performance against Racing, missing all those players. So I'm very excited about that. And for the Wave, they're returning Morgan, Girma, and Shaw this year. Other than that, they have not really, surprisingly, upgraded their roster too much. I know they added Elise Bennett, Savannah McCaskill, but I think if the Wave don't have their national teamers in this lineup, I like Gotham's chances in this one. Your thoughts on this matchup?
I think Gotham does definitely have an edge in this game, just in terms of the games that they've played in Colombia and the connections they've been able to build there on the field. Roster depth also is always like a big factor. I'm sure Juan Carlos Amaros has I would like to think like a great, he's in a great position where he's thinking, okay, whichever front three I put out, if someone's not working, I have someone else that I can pull out. And when you're already kind of in a defensive mindset on the other side of the pitch, and you're seeing Lynn Williams come down, or Mitch first come down, and then you have other players like Katie Sengel and Esther coming off the bench, and you're already kind of physically drained, seeing more players that can catch you off guard after the halftime, or whatever that score may look like, midway through, 3/4 of the way through. I think it's going to be really hard for San Diego to match their conditioning, I guess, and their ability to aggressively respond. But Shaw has had also a really, really great tournament for the U.S. So it'll depend, I think, on whoever's on the front foot. Whoever comes out and really sets the tone for the game, I think, will really determine this game's outcome.
It's definitely a game that nobody wants to miss. Again, we have a new lineup. We have so many great players coming into Gotham, and we're gonna see how this changes things for Gotham. Again, we're probably gonna see Dunn, we're gonna see Davidson, we're gonna see LaBelle Sonnet for the first time playing with Gotham, and we're gonna see if this super team lives up to the expectations.
Yeah, my expectations for this game, I believe that the national teams, when they come back, are probably going to come off the bench. And I think we're going to see a similar lineup that we saw at the end of the tournament, the preseason tournament, at least to start the game at least, which is fine. Because if you do get a chance to listen to the interview with Nealy Martin, she is all in on every single player from 1 to 26 being on the same page. And this roster is a plug and play roster. And they looked fantastic against Racing. And I just don't think San Diego is going to be able to handle Gotham passing all the way through them this game. So I'm super excited about it. So what are we manifesting this week?
So personally, I think I'm manifesting a vacation and $1 million.
Okay.
Yes.
but besides that, I think I'll be manifesting this Challenge Cup win for Gotham.
Yes. What about you, Noelle?
I am manifesting, well, personally, I think just like better weather. I don't know, something about the rain just really.
Oh, tell me about it. I hate it.
Really just brings down, I don't know, my spirit and everything. But in terms of obviously Gotham and the U.S. women's team, hoping wins for both teams. I think it'd be great for morale, great to start the season off. You can't go wrong with a win.
I think we're all in on that third piece of hardware. Let's get it going. What a way to start this season. So, any random thoughts for before we go?
Yeah, so since we last spoke in our last episode, I picked up a new hobby.
Okay.
Yeah, a new hobby. I never thought I would do this, but I was like, well, my wife started doing yoga, and I was like, you know what? I'll go with her here and there, see what's all about. So my new hobby is not hot yoga. And let me tell you, last time I went, it kicked my butt, but I liked it. Yeah. Like I've sweated so much. I was telling the instructor last time because I did like the sculpt yoga, which you have to do with weights. So I guess that was intense. And I told at the end of the class, I went to the instructor. I was like, thank you. I was like, that was a great workout. And I don't think I've sweated so much since I played soccer. So I was like, thank you. She started laughing. But yeah, hot yoga is my new hobby.
Is this like a site, or like do you have to go to like a studio or something,
I go
or
to a studio. It's in Maplewood here in Jersey. It's like 15 minutes away from me, so it's not that bad.
okay,
So
okay.
it's the new thing that I've been doing, and I think it really helps like to keep my mind, because after I come out of those classes sometimes my head's at ease and peace, and it makes me feel productive.
Yeah, I've done it a couple of times. I love it. I just haven't had time to do it, but I should get back into it. Should definitely
Any
do.
random thoughts for you guys?
This is National Reading Month, and I'm trying my hardest to get reading back into my diet again. So, please, if you're out there, give me some reading recommendations because I need some right now.
I haven't read anything lately, but if I do, I'll let you know.
Yeah, trying. I'm starting a fantasy series that I surprisingly haven't read yet, but we'll see how it goes. It's going to be. My time is so limited. But yes, so Noella, any random thoughts?
No, now I'm just convinced to go do hot yoga and pick
There
up a
you go.
book.
Yes.
Right?
You can do both.
Right? That's awesome. Okay, I thought of a book now. I don't read it, but I have it as an audiobook, and sometimes when I'm getting ready for work, I just put it on to listen to something. Atomic Habits. It's really good.
Okay. I will look it up. I'll put it on my Audible list. Sounds good. So I am ready to get to this interview with Nealy Martin. Are you all ready?
We're ready.
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Hi, fans. Before we get to the next segment, I just want to thank everybody for helping this podcast grow. It's been amazing. We absolutely appreciate you. You can also help us grow the show by repping our merchandise. Please visit tpublic.com, search Soccer Over Gotham Podcast, all 4 words. All the proceeds go back into the podcast for upgrades. Also, 10% goes towards the Black Women's Player Collective, our favorite cause. And now, back to the show. All right, fans. So even as a soccer storyteller, it's really hard to describe the insane journey that was the 2023 Gotham FC championship season. There were so many iconic images from that past season, maybe none more iconic than this player running up the field in that pink goalie jersey. Here to talk us through that amazing moment and is full-time Gotham FC defensive midfielder, part-time goalkeeper, and forever Gotham fan favorite, Nealy Martin. So welcome to the show, Nealy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
As we discussed before the show, you have such like an interesting story just from your journey from, going undrafted to waivers to all that stuff and then finding your way into Gotham and now winning a championship. It's definitely something we want to explore. We're not sure if we're going to be able to get into it today, but maybe we'll get you back on to tell more of your specific personal story. But thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been a wild ride, but I'm happy to be here at Gotham.
Yeah. And so you're back from Colombia. So how did Colombia treat you?
It was great. I mean, the weather was amazing. We're right by the equator. I think our highest UV index was like 16. I didn't even know it went that high. So no complaints about that. And it's always good to get a final in and get some real pressure and play in a stadium like that in that environment before the season. So coming out with a trophy as well is not a bad thing.
Not at all. And we'll talk just real quickly about your first match. It was A bit rough. It was obviously a preseason match. You guys were just getting back into the swing of things, and you got Gotham always seems to need a little hero, and you got a hero in that game in McKenna Witham. Can you tell us about her and just how incredible it is that just a young player was playing so well?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you see a young player playing at that level, they're top talent for their age. And it's really cool for her to get to experience, a moment like that. But I attribute a lot of that success to our team.
Hmm.
And it's just, you can plug anyone into our system, anyone from our team, and they're going to do well because, the support, the people around us. So yeah, I would really attribute it to the team and to our coaching and to the staff we have here.
Absolutely, putting everybody in position to succeed, which is great. And speaking of succeeding, the second match came out a little slow, and it didn't feel like Gotham soccer. And maybe the team needed a wake up call or anything. But you get the goal scored against you, and then for the last 65 minutes, it is all Gotham, just being Gotham. Tell us about how it felt to just like maybe go through that and say maybe that was what we needed to get going. But you guys look really fantastic going into and winning that championship.
Thank you. Yeah. I think anytime you can see a goal that early,
Mhm.
it's not ideal, but honestly, it's the way we responded that I'm really proud of.
Right.
And that's what we've done time and time again to win a championship last year. But we know like that means nothing for this upcoming season. So yeah, for us to be able to fight back in a game like that and not just score, one goal tied up to score three was incredible. And I think, the calmness and the order we have on and off the ball is something that we emphasize. And yeah, I was happy to see it all come together at the end of the match.
And obviously, I think the most important thing is you looked like Gotham, even though you were missing 10 players. I mean, 7 national teamers and everybody else. And one of those national teamers is Jenna Nighswonger, who is simply going off and doing amazing things. And she looked amazing in the last match with the national team. I'm hoping you didn't stay up till 1 o'clock watching that game.
I tried to watch a little bit of it. The conditions were crazy,
Yeah.
but that aside, I'm really proud of Jenna and who she is off the field. I think like contributes to her success on the field. She's just a top tier teammate and a friend to me, and someone I consider as one of my best friends on this team. And we're all so proud of her here and everything she's doing for the national team.
Yeah, incredible player. And let's just jump into it. I mean, congrats on your first NWSL championship, hopefully first of many, which is awesome. And I'm sure it was just how you drew it up too. Getting to the playoffs as a 6th seed, rolling through the Challenge Cup champions, the former champions from the last year, and then obviously the craziness. Which is what tell us about like what a ride this kind of the playoffs were for you as a player. Being it's like your first time with the playoffs, right?
Yeah, it was my first time. And I mean, I always go back to our team
Hmm.
and our foundation and the staff we have. Like, we're so supported here. And I think we just focus a lot on us and what we're doing. And all like everyone feels valued here. So when you step on the field with that kind of support around you, it's easy to want to play for the person next to you. And our playoff run wasn't easy. I mean, North Carolina and Portland and then facing Rain in the final, like those are all top tier teams. Like we respect them so much, and to have to go away was tough. But I think our team is very resilient, and you could see that throughout the whole season. So yeah, it was an incredible moment that I won't forget.
And going into the championship game, what was like the mood of the team? Was it obviously you're rallying for Ali Krieger and all that stuff, but just like did you guys just fully believe?
Oh yeah, for sure. There was a feeling throughout the whole season that like this team, this group of people is different. It's kind of hard to explain unless you're in that environment where you're like, we could do something really special. Everyone got along on the team. We were just pushing for each other. It didn't matter who was playing. Everyone just wanted the best for the team. And it was a really crazy and cool experience and environment to be in.
Yeah, and let's get into the that last 5 minutes. I mean, Gotham was. I mean, it felt like you guys were in control. it almost felt like not like a foregone conclusion, but it felt like you guys had it in the bag, and then everything just goes sideways. So walk us through, like, in your words, like the last 5 minutes. Like, what were you thinking? Did you see the play happen? Did you think he had subs? All that, all that.
Yeah. Initially, I didn't know she came out of the box. You know, I'm like whispering to her, I'm like, what just happened? Like, are you going off? She's like, I don't know. I don't know. And then she's like, Nealy. I'm like, what? She's like, take the gloves. So I'm like, all right, this only feels right. Because Mandy was like my best friend on the team. I was her roommate. We always joked about like me playing goalkeeper. Like before training, sometimes I'd put on the gloves and, you know, just take a few volleys or something just as a joke. And then it was the same goal that I played in the regular season too.
Yeah.
Same scenario almost. So I was like, this only feels right. Yeah, but it was a crazy moment. But yeah, I thought it was really cool.
And you're still obviously a novice as a goalkeeper. I think you put on the gloves before the jersey. So you had like Sinead just trying to like pull your arms through the jersey.
Yeah. Well, Mandy handed me the gloves, and then I was still like a little unsure what was happening. So I was like, I'm just going to go set the wall, make them think I know what I'm doing. And then they brought the jersey out, and I was like, do I take the gloves off? I don't know. I think we can slide them over. So me and Sinead are just cracking up. She's trying to squeeze the jersey over the gloves. Disaster.
Yeah, but you had help. You had a veteran of the game, Allie Long, in your ear, coaching you through. What was she telling you?
Yeah, she was giving me some great goalkeeper tips. Like, honestly, she's like, you need to be like 60 degrees off the wall. I was like, it was just going in one ear and out the other. I was like, Allie, all I need to know is where she's shooting because she knows Rose. And she was like, probably near post. I was like, all right, that's all I need to know. And so no matter what, I was going near post.
And she picked right, because it was going in that direction. So you actually might have had to make a save if it didn't go off Katie Stengel's head. It must have been a relief for you not to have to make that save.
Yeah, I mean, when I played goalkeeper both times, I was like, it would be pretty sick if I got a save. You know, I was 1-for-1 in my career. But also, if they score it, I would be devastated. I know no one's expecting that, but if I had a save, it would be really sick.
Right. And there was the safety you made in college. Was that against a Gotham player?
Yeah, it was against
That's right.
Yasmin Ryan. Actually, we were kind of same scenario. We were playing TCU at TCU. Our goalkeeper got a red card. You have unlimited subs in college. I don't know why they wouldn't let us sub. But yeah, she had a free kick top of the box, same spot as Rose. And I made a little save, and then they left me in for the corner. It was funny.
Yeah, but obviously you weren't alone in that match. There was the traveling supporters of Gotham FC, which is Cloud9. And I wasn't able to be there, but like just listening to the broadcast, they were so loud. It made it feel like a home game. Can you tell us what it's like to have that kind of support with you, getting you through that championship match?
Yeah, it's always special for us to have home games and have them there. I think it's, you know, one of the reasons we play, and it really pushes us forward. And then at an away match to have that kind of support, it means the world because, you know, at San Diego, OO Reigns, home fans are closer there on the West Coast, but to have people fly literally across the country to come watch you and support you, it's just an unreal feeling. I can't explain it. So we're more than grateful for them.
Yeah, and it was good to have them come to the trophy celebration, get to hold the trophy too, because they deserve all that as well. And obviously, you guys were playing for Ali Krieger, and just with your time with Ali Krieger being behind you in your ear, probably yelling at you for 85 minutes of the game. What will you take from your relationship with her? What will you take from her just being around her?
Yeah, I think she's probably the best captain I've ever had and ever seen. And she's obviously a legend of the game. And the way she carries herself and leads the team is something that I will always remember. And I hope to be able to emulate someday. Yeah, she was just an incredible role model for us as younger players and even for the older players. Yeah, we won't forget her.
Yeah. And you made it through. You were against probably the most experienced midfield in the league in Sonnet, Lavelle, Fishlock. And the three of you held your own, had an amazing match. And like, can you tell us about like the three of you, Ryan, Sheehan, and yourself, and what makes, because you're all young players that obviously kind of grow, right? New roles, grow in together. Like, what was it like to work with those three all season?
Yeah, every time I stepped onto the field with them, we were always laughing, like having a good time. And we have we're all friends off the field, so it makes it special to get to play together. But I think we're all just willing to do the work for each other, and we know our roles, whether, that's defending, that's attacking. It's just really special to be able to do it with those kinds of people. And I think no matter who's on the field, it's the same feeling. Everyone is supported in this environment, and no matter who's filling that role, we're going to support them, and we're going to make it as comfortable as possible for them.
Yeah, and speaking of two of those midfielders, you got Sonnet, Lavelle coming onto the team. Obviously, you're adding Dunn too, Davidson, all of them. But what are you excited about learning from those two new midfielders, Sonnet and Lavelle?
Yeah, they're really special players, and I've looked up to them in the way that they play. Even when we play against them, I want to take, the small things I can from their game, and getting to play with them and, getting Rose the ball and Sonnet the ball. Like, they're so good on the ball. I think that's something that all of us can take from them. And just seeing what they can add to the system that we play is going to be really incredible.
Yeah, it certainly is. And we're excited. We're going to get into a little bit of the Challenge Cup match in a minute, but just we'll do some quick reflections, on your career since we're here. And I know that, soccer careers are never a straight line, and, going from undrafted to waivers and, all that. What kept you motivated through all of that? Was it like, just what kept you grounded and just kept going?
Yeah, for me, it's my faith that really keeps me grounded, and that's my why. And I think I always just fall back on my work ethic. It's something that I can control, and I'm just going to work as hard as I can in any role that I'm playing. And, whether I'm on the field, I'm off the field, what team I'm on, that's something that I can control, and something that will never, leave me.
Yeah. It's like everybody has, like, especially when it comes to a pro career, like everyone has a moment where they said, okay, I made it. Like I finally, like, I was, for myself, I was traveling in Belize and Guatemala. I got to play my first pro game in Belize. And I was like, just calling my mother and being like, hey, like I finally made it a little bit. And it was like, your hard work paid off. Like, what was that moment for you where you're like, okay, I'm a pro player now. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, my very first game at Racing Louisville was pretty crazy because I was overseas for a stint before that, not even playing professionally, just playing in a league. And to come off an open trial and to be invited and then to sign and then start the first game was pretty incredible. And then to play against, Sydney LaRue, Ali Krieger, like, that was a crazy moment for me. But for me, I've never said like I've made it to myself, because I always want more. Like, there is no ceiling that I want to, I never want to be comfortable with where I'm at. I always want to push for more. So yeah, I don't know if I've gotten to that point, but it has been really cool, some of the experiences that I've gotten to have.
Yeah, and talking about some of the experiences they had, like this past season, obviously ups and downs. It was just a crazy, crazy season. What are some of your reflections from like this past season?
Yeah, there's so many. I think our team was really resilient through everything. We had games canceled. We had to play in bad conditions. We had delays. Like, it was crazy every time, but our team always bounced back in our attitude. And just the relationships I had with the people on that team were really special. And like I said earlier, it was this feeling that, we could do something incredible. And we did. And to see all of that hard work pay off was really cool.
Absolutely. And getting to this game coming up next week, the San Diego Wave came to the town last season and they brought a big crowd with them. And then this year, Gotham's opening up the Upper Bowl for this game. So it's going to be probably a record breaking crowd for this club. And just how excited are you to just get back in the swing of things and to jump into this game?
Yeah, I think our whole team is super excited. For me, the off season is really tough because I don't like to take time off. I want to just get back after it, but it's important. So yeah, the wait from the off season and now into preseason, we've been traveling for 5 weeks or so, and like we've just all been preparing so much that we're super excited to get on that field and get to play in front of our fans again.
Yeah, and what is the ceiling for this team? I mean, we're looking at going for a third hardware in 4 games. So what is the ceiling for this team? I mean, it looks like you guys can beat anybody.
Yeah, I think, getting to play for another final
Hmm.
before actual season starts is incredible. And it's a great experience that we're going to get to have. And for us, every game is the same, every game is a final. We need to compete the same way we would in that championship in a regular season match, in this match coming up, in any preseason game. So it's the same mentality for us.
Yeah. And this league is growing by leaps and bounds. And this offseason has been incredible. Record-breaking transfers coming in. And can you just talk about just the growth of the league and how excited you are about the future of this league?
Yeah, I think it's really cool to see, especially talking to the older players, like Michelle Betos and those players who have seen where the league has come from. It's just crazy for them to reflect and see where it's headed. And I hope we continue to push the envelope for this league and make it better, and each one of us leaves it better than we found it.
And what is your obviously you said there's no ceiling for you, but like what is the next steps for you in your career? What are you looking to accomplish?
Yeah, I think, whatever role I can play on this team to make us better and make us win another championship, that's what I want to do. I want to be my absolute best every day and see where that takes me.
Fantastic. And obviously, we talked a little bit about the coaching staff, and they've built such an amazing environment. And it's just been, from what we've been covering this team for a long time. And last season was different. And we started seeing the beginning of the last season. We started talking about like maybe this is a team of destiny because there's just something, again, as you said, different about Gotham than any other teams. Can you talk about like what kind of environment this team has built from Juan to the coach staff, everybody?
Yeah, our whole staff is great, from the upper management to our coaching staff. I think everyone is pushing towards the same goal and we have the same vision, and that's really important. And as well, everyone feels valued. And even if we have, a U18 come in to train for one day, they're going to get treated the same way as, someone who's a legend who's been to 4 World Cups would get treated. And I think that's really special and separates us. And yeah, just the value we place on people as humans first over soccer players.
I'm going to just jump into some rapid fire questions to get you out of here, and we'll just have just first, one word questions. The first thing that comes to your mind, and then we'll jump out of here. So, are you a Swiftie? Yes or no?
I wouldn't say so. I like some of her old songs, but like the new ones, I don't really know.
It's like a third rail in soccer, in like women's soccer. Like you have to be a Swiftie. I don't know. But so you said Mandy was your traveling roommate last year. So who do you think is your traveling roommate this year that you don't have Mandy with you?
Probably Jenna. Yeah, Jenna Nighswonger.
Yeah. Then what are three things that you don't travel without?
I always have my Bible.
Mm-hmm.
I always have gum. I'm a gum addict. Chew probably a pack a day. And probably right now my headphones.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't have any AirPods. I'm plug into the phone kind of girl.
Oh yeah? Yeah. All right. Now that you've been New York, New Jersey, from 1 to 10 being 1 being like not a New Yorker at all to 10 being a New Yorker, how much have you grown as a New Yorker?
Are we talking New York or New Jersey? Because I've come to learn it's very different.
It is very different. We're talking about New York right here.
New York, I would say like probably at a 4.
4.
I mean, I'm from Alabama, so it takes a little getting used to. But I can have a great time in the city for 24 hours, 48 hours, but I could not picture myself living there or spending more time there.
So you consider yourself more of a New Jersey person?
Yeah, Jersey surprised me. I thought it was going to be like a bigger or like a smaller New York City, like concrete everywhere, but it's gorgeous. I mean, it's the Garden State. I didn't even realize that I had so much nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Yeah, this is a Central Jersey podcast, so I appreciate that. So what is the best Easter food?
Ooh, I mean, you could go the candy route, but not much of a candy person. I really like ham. So probably ham. That might be a staple in my diet.
Yeah.
So the honey baked ham hits on Easter.
Gotcha. And March is National Reading Month. Any book recommendations? Your favorite book? Anything?
I read, what's my latest read was David Goggins' book.
Okay.
Yeah, his first one he wrote. But I read, what's the name of that book that I really liked? It was, he was an Olympic track runner. They made a movie about it. He was drafted for the Army, and then he was in a plane crash.
Oh, gosh,
he was
yeah.
a Japanese prisoner of war.
Yeah, name escapes me.
I can't remember. It's called can't remember. But yeah, that book was really good.
Excellent. And what are you nerdy about outside of soccer? Besides gum.
I mean, I studied chemical engineering in school.
Okay.
So I'm a little bit of a math nerd.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a nerd in general.
Okay. All right. Last question. You wouldn't be here without this person or people?
Definitely my family. I think growing up, they did everything they could to support me. And I think the examples they set for me is what's really important. They taught me my work ethic, and my mom's probably the most selfless, humble person I've ever met. So it's really cool to see that and get to learn from them.
Absolutely. So sadly, we've come to the end of the interview. We thank you for taking the time to speak to us. There's obviously a lot more to your story. We talked about that earlier, and we hope to have you back on to talk a little bit further. So again, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Hope you have a good day.
Indeed. And Gotham returns to action to attempt to win their third piece of hardware in 4 matches, this time the Challenge Cup, March 15th, Morgan and Company, San Diego Wave, 8 p.m., Red Bull Arena. Going to be ruckus, opening the upper bowl for this one. Get ready, get there early. I'm excited for this matchup, Nealy. Are you excited?
Oh yeah, it's going to be a good one, and we hope to see you out there.
Let's go. Hey everybody, it's Gary. I hope you enjoyed that interview, and hopefully there's more and more of those to come. The best compliment you can give this show is to rate it 5 stars and share it with anyone who would listen. If you know someone who would enjoy the work we do, hit the share button and spread the word, because word of mouth in our business is everything. And of course, stay subscribed and stay on top of all future episodes. Let's grow this community together. For Ruby, Noella, and myself, thank you for listening to episode 94 of Soccer Over Gotham, and I will see you all at Red Bull Arena on the 15th. Let's go Gotham.